with Loving Superfoods, and I'm about to make some green gobblers, as I call them, and I thought I'd show you how I do it. So here's my food processor, and I'm just going to combine a whole bunch of stuff. You can find this recipe on our website at lovingsuperfoods.com/blog, and just do a search for green gobblers. And so here we go. First, I'm going to do 2/3 cup of hemp seeds. These are the Hemp Hearts brand, and I like using these for this kind of recipe because they're less expensive than the Sunflower Superfoods brand of hemp seeds, and I don't require them to taste like super creamy good. Like when I'm making hemp milk, I want to use the Sunflower Superfoods brand of Hemp Hearts hemp seeds. But for this, since I've got so many other flavors in here, some regular old hemp seeds from Hemp Hearts will do. So there's my 2/3 cup of hemp seeds. And now I'm going to do a 1/3 cup of lucuma powder. This is what it looks like in the package, lucuma powder. And it's basically a superfood fruit that's dried and powdered. It comes from South America, and it's really high in B3, which is niacin, and other minerals and iron, and it gives things a kind of nice sweet flavor. So there's about a 1/3 cup of lucuma. And if you have ground vanilla powder, you can use that, but I really like doing a quick and simple vanilla extract. And I'm going to do 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Here's my measure for 1/2 tablespoon. You might hear my kitchen music going on in the background. I really believe in cooking music. Alright, so there's the vanilla. Love vanilla. Now we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of sunflower salt. Sunflower salt is a really beautiful mixture of Himalayan pink salt, Bolivian rose salt, and a couple other salts. Chinese sea salt, and I can't remember what the other one is. Look it up online. Alright, so that's the sea salt, and I'm going to do a teaspoon of cinnamon. Looks like I might have to restock that. Let's see how we go here. Yeah, that's a little less than a teaspoon, so I might add a little more of it. And a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. There, we made up for it by doing extra nutmeg. Alright. And then you can use any kind of greens in these green gobblers. This is the vitamin green from Health Force Nutritionals, so I'm going to use that right now. I've also done this with spirulina and blue green algae. And if you don't want it to be green, you want it to taste more like a snickerdoodle cookie, then don't put any greens in. You could substitute more hemp seeds instead. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of greens, vitamin green. The advantage of doing greens instead of hemp seeds is you're getting a different kind of source of protein from the greens. They're very alkalizing. And this vitamin green is just packed with all kinds of greens in here and probiotics and enzymes. So this is really my favorite of green powders. Alright, so there's all my dried stuff. Now I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of, you could do agave or honey. I'm going to do vanilla agave nectar because that's our fave. Though this does taste really good with a raw honey as well. So there's 1, there's 2, and I kind of did this backwards what I would normally do, just to preserve make it quick and easy to do my measuring instruments. Is I also require coconut oil in here, so I do coconut oil first, and that makes it really easy to get the agave out of the measuring spoon later. So do as I say, not as you see. Yeah, because now I got a really messy spoon, and I don't want to dip that into my jar of coconut oil. Although it does look like it might be cold enough out today. My coconut oil is a little bit hard, and we want it to be more of an oil for this so that it blends well. But it's pretty soft. There's liquid underneath there. So I'm just gonna use my spoon and get as much of the liquidy bits as possible. Since I'm doing this in a food processor, it's okay if some of it is a little bit congealed. It'll still mix well. If you were going to mix this by hand, you'd really want the coconut oil to be soft so that it would blend well with everything in there. So, here's 1 tablespoon. There's 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Okay. I really believe in eating with your fingers and cooking with your fingers. And since I'm not making this for anyone else but me and my sweetie, I'm gonna get my fingers all into this spoon to get all that green goodness off there and into my food processor. Alright. Oh boy, it's already good. So, that's all my ingredients. Now I'm just going to grind this up in the food processor until it's finely ground and starts to ball a little bit. You'll see how that goes. Spatula for the food processor. Now I'm just going to mix this around a little bit. Oh. I see why it's not working. I didn't read my instructions. It's actually a 1/3 cup of coconut oil. I only did 2 tablespoons. No wonder it's not blending well. Alright, so it's actually a 1/3 cup of coconut oil. So I've put 1/3 cup plus the 2 tablespoons already added into coconut oil in here. So now let's blend again. It should start to turn into a nice ball. There you can see it's mixing a lot better. Here, I'll show you. So you can see it's starting to kind of form into a ball a little bit there. So I'm going to mix it just a little bit more. You can almost see kind of some hemp seeds still whole in there. So I'm going to mix it a little bit more so it's really a fine mixture. My blade back on. Little piece that snuck out. Alright, that's looking pretty good. We get some of this green stuff that was left on the side mixed in. I want every last bit of green goodness. Alright. That's looking great. So now you can see it's turning into nice balls, and I can even pull some off and then roll that into a little ball. I suggest that you actually refrigerate these before you eat them, but you can taste test now just to make sure it's got the right flavor consistency. Alright. So, what I'm going to do now is just put these on a plate and refrigerate them, and then they'll be ready to go. Okay, there you have it, my beautiful plate of Green Gobblers, and that's going to go in the fridge so that they can harden up a little bit. The coconut oil will harden, and they'll be ready to chomp on within about 10 minutes, and for as long as you can keep them around, they go fast. And now I get to lick the bowl. Okay, a couple more notes on this recipe. I did try, instead of lucuma powder, doing mesquite powder. And mesquite has a really cinnamony chai kind of flavor to it. It made the Green Gobblers a little, not as light of a flavor. The mesquite goes really good with chocolate, so if you wanted to do a chocolate version of these, I would do maybe a mesquite and a cacao or carrot powder or both of those. But I really like the Green Gobblers to have something other than chocolate since I have so much chocolate in my diet right now. The other option that I haven't tried yet is instead of lucuma powder, you could do coconut flour. This is a brand I got from our little natural grocery store, coconut flour from Coconut Secret. I imagine that would probably work as good as the lucuma, but man, if you can do the lucuma, that's the best because it gives a natural sweetness to it. So happy playing with it, and let me know what you think. Take care. Enjoy.